Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Muhamad Rizky Afriansyah. I'm from C class afternoon semester 3. Now, I'm gonna tell my presentation about improving student speaking skill in English lesson with action learning strategy at 8th grade of MTS 51 Health Beta. The background of the study. In this era of globalization, English language is important for our lives. In fact, it is the second most spoken language in the world. Globalization made the use of English more widened. The ability to speak and write English properly has been one essential benchmark skill in the professional world. Learning English in junior high school are important given authority as a preparation of the globalization process, but as the proportion of junior high school students to continue higher education level of established English teaching as a lesson that must be controlled by students. The indication of the problem. Number 1. The student motivation is low in learning English. Number 2. The English teacher has talked about speaking skill and the media is still low. And number 3, the teaching method is not appropriate on activities to facilitate practice speaking in English. That's why the students have low speaking skill in English. The limitation of the study. It is necessary for the researcher to limit the study. It is intended to avoid a big problem area and help the student to focus on the research. In the reference to the background of the problem and identification of the problem, the study would focus on improving students' speaking skill English lesson by using a action learning strategy. The objective of the study. The objective of this research was to improve student speaking skill in English lesson by using action learning strategy at 8th grade of MTS PAB Helvetia. The significance of the study. For the English teacher, the result of this research is expected to provide them with an alternative technique to teach speaking. It is also expected to motivate the teacher to be more creative, so the student will be more enthusiastic in learning English in the class. For the result of this research can develop the experience related to knowledge in research on education and English teaching, especially for speaking. For students, the result of this research is expected to give them new experience in English learning, especially in learning speaking, so they can be more motivated to develop their abilities. The definition of speaking. Speaking is the productive oral or oral skill. It consists of producing systematic verbal utterance to convey meaning. Teaching speaking is something considered a simple process. Commercial language schools around the world have people with no training to teach conversation. Although speaking is totally natural, speaking in language taught on our own is anything but simple. The function of speaking skill. The mastery of speaking skill in English is priority for many second and foreign language learners. Spell language expert has attempted to categorize the function of speaking in human interaction. First, that as interaction. Speaking as interaction refers to the interaction which serves as primary social function. When people meet, they exchange greetings, engage in small speaking and chat. Recon is an experience because they wish to be friendly and to establish a comfort zone of interaction with others. The focus is more on the speaker and how they wish to present themselves to each other. Uh, Talk as performance. Speaking as performance refers to public speaking. It is talk which transmits information before an audience, such as public announcements and speech. Speaking as performance tends to be in forms of monologue rather than dialogue, often follow recognizable format, and it is closer written language than conventional language. Speaking as transaction. Speaking as transaction refers to situation where the focus is the message that was said or achieved in order to make people understood clearly and accurately. Acting from a script. We can ask our students to act out script from based on or their coursebooks, sometimes filming the results. Students will often act out dialogues they have written themselves. This frequently involves them in coming out to the front of the class. Communication games. Games which are designed to provoke communication between students frequently depend on an information gap, so that one student has to talk to a partner in order to solve a puzzle, draw a picture, describe and draw, put things in right order, describe and arrange, or find similarities and differences between pictures. The discussion. Some discussion just happen in middle of lessons. They are unprepared by the teacher, but if encouraged can provide some of the most enjoyable and productive speaking in language classes. Prepare tasks. A popular kind of activity is the prepare task, where students make a presentation on a topic of their own choice. Questionnaires. Questionnaires are useful because by being pre-planned, they ensure that both questioner and respondent have something to say to each other. Simulation and role play. Many students get great benefit from simulation and role play. Students stimulate a real-life encounter, such as business meeting, an encounter in airplane cabin, or an interview. Conclusion. Action learning strategy activity can improve students' speaking ability, showed by the score they get in the class. Furthermore, from the student respond to the teaching and learning activity, it can be concluded that the student lack action learning strategy. It happened by their participation in the class cooperation discussion, performed in the front of the class, pronunciation and fluency and feeling confidence about speaking. That's all I can say. If I make mistake, please forgive it. So end of the day, I say wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.